Welcome to Heart Rehab. So glad y'all are here today with me. I am your host, Nephetia Brown, and I am so excited to be here because I have a very special guest. Listen, guys, this guest is someone that I actually work with. He is one of the producers here at Flexwork Studios. So can you all give it up for Eric?
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me, Nev.
Thank you so much for being here.
Being on this side of the camera, not for me. not for me.
Are you serious?
No, I'm doing a little bit of podcasting like here and there,
right,
with one of the other producers, and have had some opportunities to be in front of the camera. And not that this is terrible for me.
Right.
But it's definitely not a comfort zone. I'll tell you that much. Like, you're a superstar on camera. So,
oh, wow, thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely a different side. But thank you for the opportunity of having me here. I appreciate it.
First of all, this guy is like super nice, super sweet, super intelligent. Like, he's a believer. You know what I mean? Like, everybody, first of all, everybody here at Flexwork, shout out to Flexwork Studios. Everybody is dope. Like, everybody is dope. Their intentions are pure. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't have chosen a better place to record.
Thank you.
These guys have been a great help to me.
Thank you.
And I love coming here. It's so warm and cozy. So, you know.
Especially during these New Jersey winter months.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm a little annoyed with this weather.
I'm already counting down the days until March.
Me too.
Because as a baseball fan,
yeah, like
this time between like the football playoffs starting and then baseball getting started is a little bit more exciting for me because I know spring is coming.
Right. Exactly.
And that's, yes, I love it.
Me too. And plus March is my birthday month, so you know.
Oh, I'm a May birthday.
Oh, so we in the cusp. People. That's why, exactly. We're spring people, so we love the warm weather. But
love it.
Anyway, guys, let's get into it. So, Eric.
Yes.
Can you just tell the people a little bit about yourself?
I can sure try. So, like Nev said, I am a producer at Flexwork Studios. I do a lot of, helping brands come to life.
Mm-hmm.
That's my passion, to be able to allow people to communicate what they want to the world.
Right.
I do video editing, Photoshop, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the 9 to 5 is. And then afterwards, I love being in the gym. I love spending time with my girlfriend.
Okay.
I'm a big time family guy because I was an only child.
Wow.
So I love being able to, spend a lot of time with my family and the people that I love most.
I love that. Yeah. And that's exactly who he is. That's who I get coming into the studio. But I didn't know about the only child thing though.
Okay.
How was that growing up?
It was definitely a unique experience because I had a lot of the stereotypes about growing up an only child. It did get a little lonely.
Right.
Definitely the favorite child of
course,
my parents. But I really wouldn't have traded it for the world because I was very fortunate enough to grow up in a church environment where I had a lot of chosen brothers and sisters.
That's dope.
Even shout out Julian Rivera, one of the other producers. He and I grew up together.
Wow,
actually.
Okay,
yeah.
That's cool.
His family came by to the church when they were when he was about 4 years old.
Okay,
I wasn't born yet.
Okay,
so he's literally
a big brother.
And he's a big brother to me.
That's dope.
So I did not get the most often quoted stereotype, which is like I just lived lonely my entire life.
Right.
I was very thankful and grateful. And then my parents were I was a miracle baby. My parents met and married when they were my dad was 36, my mom was 35, and they had me 4 years later.
Really?
So, I was a miracle baby. So they love me with all their heart. They would have anyway, but they love me with all their heart. And I'm very grateful for them. So
I love that. The only child that's not a brat. I mean, sorry, only children.
We can be.
I believe it because your parents were they're not old, mid 30s. Mm-hmm. That is older to have.
Yeah.
Well,
they say it's crazy. Me and my girlfriend were just talking about this the other day. The classification for geriatric pregnancy is like 32 nowadays.
Yes, it is.
Which is so unfair.
It is.
It's so unfair.
It is.
But especially with all these people starting a little bit later in life, you know, even getting married after 30, which
Exactly.
God bless.
Right.
Everybody's got their own path, but
God bless and good luck.
Yeah, but to put a medical classification, and I understand, you know, like there's health risks involved and everything like that, but you know, I could go on about that for hours, but I'm very thankful and grateful to
Look at you. You are very healthy.
Thank you. Thank you.
I actually had my middle son, I was 31, and then my youngest son, I was 34.
Okay.
And I was at the doctor's office every 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, because I had some things going on. They just wanted to monitor and make sure. So I had some, you know, and they're great. Yeah. But I understand why they, you know, lowered the age to like 32 because there are tons of risk. First of all, we pump a lot of different things into our body. Let's not even talk about that in the food and everything else. So of course there are going to be risks, right? But it's, you know, it depends on you. It depends on the pregnancy and, you know, and look, voila, there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, grace and miracles for sure.
That's right.
And I also want to say, I did not get the opportunity to meet your sons, but I got the opportunity to edit the episodes where your sons were on.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
So wonderful. You are a wonderful mother.
Thank you.
Just, it really exudes the spirits that they have and you through them. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
Sometimes you wonder.
Yeah, I get that. Even to this day, my parents still wonder. It's how it goes. It's how it goes.
Seriously.
Yep.
So listen, so you're the only child. And so how did you grow up?
Oh, man. So I grew up in Edison, New Jersey. I grew up, you know, homeschooled, actually.
What?
I was homeschooled my entire life, all the way up through college. I did do a little bit of part-time, both with a Christian school and homeschooled.
Okay.
So I could play sports with them.
Okay.
But that was kind of like the most ever I got before I actually got into college, you know, actual school environment. That was the closest I got to it. But I was homeschooled growing up, Edison, New Jersey. And it was a pretty relaxed childhood, I guess you could say. I did a lot of, you know, sports, extracurriculars, all these kinds of things. My parents were very driven in making sure that I felt that just because I was an only child who was homeschooled, that I didn't feel isolated from everybody.
Right,
you know, they tried to keep my development, you know, as
normal as possible,
normal as they could.
Yeah.
And to be fair, there are some things that I, as an adult now, am noticing that like some things didn't develop as, you know, a public schooler would, like peer-to-peer relationships or, you know, things like that. Cause it's, you know, I didn't go through an awkward middle school breakup, right? And then have to see that person every single day, right, until summertime. Right. You know, like it's almost like a rite of passage that I didn't get.
Right.
But it, you know, they did as much as they could, and thankfully I am what is known as a person who is as people are surprised when they find out I was homeschooled.
Yeah, because I would have never ever thought. But speaking of that rite of passage, that middle school breakup.
Sure.
I got the funniest story. So in middle school was my first kiss. Was my so I had this boyfriend. He was really nice and he was very popular and all of the girls were crazy about him. I was in the 7th grade. He was in the 8th grade. So
older man.
Okay. So I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for this first kiss to happen, right? I was practicing too. The nerve of me to practice as a 7th grader.
On your pillow or on the... Oh, we don't have to get into the details.
Yeah, because I
that
know
could be
how.
An offline conversation.
This was very fresh, okay?
Sure.
This is very fresh. And so, you know, I'm practicing. I'm like, okay, so it's going to be romantic. I am just like... Because I watched my mother and father for the butterflies and, you know, daffodils and whatever, right? My mother and father were very lovey-dovey. So I'm like, oh, okay, so it's going to be great. First kiss comes. First kiss was not good.
Oh, boy.
First kiss was a nightmare. First kiss was super sloppy, right? My whole face was wet. Okay, now he's in the 8th grade. I'm thinking he's going to know what the hell to do. Did not know. And I was ruined after that. Needless to say, I kept my little self to myself for a long time because I didn't want any other experience to be that bad. You understand?
Yep.
Okay, so now you have to go every day and see this boy, because let me tell you something. After I came out that hallway, my girlfriends were around the corner waiting for them to find out how this first kiss was.
Yep.
Major fail. Okay, they were like, "What happened? How was it?" I'm like, "It was so bad." They're like, "Why?" I'm like,
"Oh, goodness."
And they were like, "Oh," they were like, "You can't be with him anymore." I'm like, "I know." So now you go through that phase where you're dodging him. He's coming out of this class. I'm gonna go this way. Then you got to talk to him sometimes, but you ain't kissing me again because that was bad. I'm practicing and you not practicing. Who you think you are?
8th grader think they had everything locked in. They thought they were doing everything right in their time. Probably thought they were good to, pay taxes, buy a house.
You understand what I'm saying?
You think you're the man in 8th grade.
You think you're the man in the 8th grade, okay?
Yep.
And you ain't even the man, all right? If you weren't such a nice person, I'd name you, but I'm not gonna do that. You destroyed my first kiss, okay? And so I had to dodge him all this time, and I felt so bad because he was so nice, but he was graduating, so it didn't matter.
Yep, see ya.
See ya.
Yep.
So that's an upside for you. You didn't have to go through all of that.
I could tell you very quickly. My first kiss was with a girl from youth group. It was after a youth group party. Brandon, who's our producer today, laughing already. He's crying laughing. And we were dating. We had texted to plan our first kiss after this party. And she walked me into the door. I stood there for, it could have been between 3 minutes and a decade. I have no idea. It could have been anywhere between that time. Could have been. And then she leaned in. I thankfully got the hint. Leaned in. Like those birds that kind of like lean over and slightly dip into water? I don't know if you've ever seen one of those, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I think that was the equivalent of that kiss. It was literally just boop. And then I hugged. And I walked out, and the end of The Breakfast Club when the music's playing in the background, and he's like walking fist in the air. I was 5 feet off the ground. I thought that was the best in my life, and I know for a fact she walked around that corner, and her girlfriends were right there, and was like, "How was the first kiss?"
Exactly,
and it was bad.
They were there.
It was bad.
I just told you they were there.
You think you're the man in 8th grade,
and you ain't the man.
Not at all.
Oh man, first kisses.
It's bad.
That was bad. But hey, we lived through it.
We did. We survived, and we're here now. We're better than ever.
Look at that.
Love
Amen.
It.
I love it. But that was hilarious to think about. That was hilarious. But so now you're homeschooled, but your parents are doing an awesome job at making sure you have a complete life, just you three, which is kind of cool too. That's kind of cool because you get to spend all your time with your parents. You get to know your parents for real.
Absolutely.
You don't have to share, Mom. You don't have to share. And so that's really cool. So now you said you were doing, you had sports and stuff going on because you were kind of like co-oping with the Christian school and stuff like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So when it came time for you to go to college, what did you and your parents decide?
So it was a pretty interesting process going from like homeschooled to wanting to like pursue further education as well as extend my athletic career for as long as I could.
Right.
I was very blessed to have a high school baseball coach that really believed in me. And because we were from a smaller school, I wasn't necessarily getting like national scouting or recognition.
Right.
But what he did was reached out to like these showcases and everything like that and put my name out there, and I was blessed to be able to like go to tryouts and eventually go to some national showcases with like Under Armour and Nike and everything.
That's dope.
And it was a really blessed experience. I ended up graduating and getting my GED.
Okay.
Which is a task in and of itself, but I think through homeschooling, they actually every single year with homeschooling, you have to do state testing just like everybody else.
Really? I didn't know that.
It's a different format.
Okay.
Because there's like different processes, but actually one of my closest friends who was not homeschooled, his mom, who was a teacher, actually was a proctor of the test for the homeschoolers.
Okay.
So she was the one bridging that gap, but there was, public school involvement in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
So I went and I got my GED, and then I went and played baseball at Rutgers for a little bit.
Get out.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I was at Rutgers for a little bit of time. And then unfortunately, in the sophomore, so the way baseball season works in college is there's the fall season, which is where, we do scrimmages, we do training, lifting, we do some traveling here and there, but it's not as intense as the actual spring schedule, which is the actual, regular season.
Okay.
And in the fall of my sophomore year, I can remember it to this day, an old injury, unfortunately, reared its ugly head for the last time, ending my career. But I remember I was playing third base, and I made a throw to first base, and I watched my arm extend, without my shoulder. So it literally, went forward, and I felt the pop, and it was my rotator cuff. Yep. So I, unfortunately, went through a couple of different options, but because of the way things were working and how college baseball kind of moves forward even without you.
Absolutely.
That kind of ended my career. But I had a very blessed opportunity through my church. In the summer of that year, I was kind of, looking for what's next.
Right.
And I had been volunteering at the time in our church production booth.
Okay.
And they said, hey, we're giving internship opportunities. We'd like to bring you on part of our creative team as a production intern.
Right.
And then I went through that entire summer earning college credits. But at the end of that summer, they said, hey, we would like for you to stay on.
Get out of here.
Yeah, if you would be willing to do so. So I had a long conversation and some prayer time with my mom and dad. And it just seemed like something, because I loved college. College is a really cool experience. It's a very formative experience.
Right.
But I have never, probably because of homeschool, I've never been good at learning in a classroom environment.
Okay.
I always learn best on my own terms.
Okay.
So it just seemed like it made sense for me to step away from college for the time being and pursue this. And I was there for about 8 years.
Right.
From the ages about 19 until 27, a little bit on and off. There were actually some times, Julian can attest to this, where I left and went and pursued another job and then came back to the church. I did that 2 different times, actually. Really? So I had 3 sandwiching stints of employment at the church, and then 2 other times where I was actually involved with a gym. I was a gym manager for a little bit.
Okay.
And then I was also in production and technology, but I was doing it freelance for a little bit.
Okay.
But then I went back to the church both times. And then last time I left was probably going to be the last time, but it's still my home church and I still spend a lot of time there and love everything I do there. But I'm now here at Flexwork Studios full time. That's my 9 to 5. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's a very long story. And I don't even remember the question that you asked to begin with.
And it's okay, because I probably don't remember it either.
I'm so sorry.
But it's okay.
Yeah,
No, that
I did
was
a little
great,
bit of rambling. Yeah.
No, it's all right. That's what we're here for.
Sure.
No, but that's so cool, because after an injury like that, you feel lost. Like, you're like, this is what I want. This is what I want to do. And it's crazy because I had the same injury.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, my rotator cuff I had been suffering with it throughout my teens. Dislocations on both shoulders. I can't even count how many times doing swimming, handball, the craziest thing.
Yeah.
Turning over the wrong way. Shoulders just out the socket. Now you're in the sling for a few
100%.
weeks. Yo, it's crazy.
Do you know El Toro at Six Flags?
Yeah.
I dislocated my shoulder on that one time.
Are you serious?
I was on a trip. And all my friends were like, we're going to do the keep your hands up challenge.
Oh, and you I don't do that.
We put our hands up and it was fun. And there's a section on the back end where you really switch back and forth going super fast. And I remember going 1, 2, 1, 2, pop, it came out and I came off and I was like, hey guys, I need to go to the medical tent or whatever it was at the time. And they like reset my shoulder, but that's how bad my shoulders are. And I know you know the struggle, but
it is a struggle.
Yeah.
And you have to constantly build the muscle around it, you know, with exercise, which I don't always get, you know, whatever, but you have to do it. I would never do like this. Never.
You do some silly things when you're younger.
Yeah, because you want to have a good time. You want to be, you know what I'm saying? But I had that injury playing basketball. I was in the best shape of my life, like for college, you know, and this particular game was one of the playoff games. We were playing Staten Island. And these girls were rough. They were big girls. But we were whipping them. Like, this was the first time, like they were so surprised. Like, they were like, what's going on? Because they will always beat us. And we were winning, and I went up for that rebound, and that girl came up behind me, and my shoulder popped out.
Oh my gosh.
It happened so fast that they thought that my nose, I had a nosebleed because I went down and said, oh my God. And because of how she hit me. And it was my shoulder. Wow. And they said I couldn't play until I got surgery for it, and I did not. I was like, because it's not a guarantee.
Yeah.
It's not a guarantee.
That's the unfortunate thing. And you were how old when this happened?
I was like 19.
Yeah, so I remember when the first time it happened, I was 12 years old, and that was the same thing. You said, like, it's not a guarantee.
It's not a guarantee.
And my mom intervened and was like, we're not putting my child under a knife. Like, the orthoscopic surgeon was within the first 5 minutes of the first visit, when I was like, hey, my shoulder is really messed up. He was like, oh yeah, we'll just put you under and we'll repair it and you'll be good to go in like 8 weeks.
That's a lie.
And my mom was like, no, we're not going to do that. And we went to another orthopedist, and he was like, we'll just put you in a sling for 6 weeks and we'll see how it heals. Yeah. And it healed like fairly well because I was so young.
Exactly.
And even being 19, you're so young. Yeah. You know? So you kind of have to leave it up to a little bit of chance, but it's almost crazy how much it is for shoulders, especially. It's like shoulders, arms, and hands. It's so risky. It's so unfortunate.
So that's why I didn't do it. Yeah. And I was like, bump that. I don't care, because you're telling me that it could keep happening, and no, I'm not doing it. So it ended there. I had a really good career in basketball, but things happen. Yeah. You know, I'm here. Yeah. Right?
You're exactly where you need to be.
Exactly. So, you know, but that's so crazy. How would I have known that any other way other than to sit here with you?
No, I'm very thankful. It's amazing to be here. It really is.
So you're working for the church, and then so now you're here, and what's going on in your life now? That's what I wanted to ask you. I lost my train of thought. What's going on in your life now? So you're here. How are your parents? Like, girlfriend, what's going on now?
Oh man, thank you. Well, thank you for asking. I mean, I think even when we were scheduling this podcast, I kind of, unfortunately, and Neff was kind enough to drag me out of this, but I was like, I'm a nobody, you know? Like, I just
I was like, you're a nobody. Everybody's a somebody.
No, 100%. And I thank you for that boost of confidence and everything like that.
You're very welcome.
But so I'm doing well now, 29 years old. Ooh. You know, got big 30 in May, unfortunately.
I remember that.
Yeah, of course you remember a year ago. Like, God bless you.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you.
But turning 30 this year. I just celebrated 1 year with my girlfriend.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, very, 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 very fortunate to have her in my life. Kind of by a stroke of luck. We have a very long story. But, you know, I'm very thankful to know that this is the woman that God's got for me to marry and everything, which is a blessing. Yeah. But it actually, it took her 3 years of trying to get my attention before I finally noticed.
It was you?
It was me. It was me. I was very blind to this wonderful woman in my life. Right. And we actually... making a very long story short, took her about 3 years.
Okay.
Something happened in our lives. We were at the same event, and I unfortunately kind of ignored her, not intentionally,
right?
But there was a lot going on in my life, and I will admit, hand to God, I was in the wrong, 100%.
Okay.
But that was kind of like the final straw for her. She was just like, I'm done. I don't want anything to do with this man anymore. Like, whatever. I don't care. So she, as she so lovingly puts it, rage quit me. And her family and my family were family friends. So we were going to a lot of the parties that they were hosting.
Right.
And New Year's Eve of 2024 going into 2025, it was the event I ignored her. I was about a week before, and then I went to their house for New Year's Eve, and I go like there, and she's being very cold towards me. What I actually learned later was that that's just how she interacts with humans that she doesn't like and is being flirty with. But of course, I'm like, oh, geez, like there's something going on here.
Right.
So I kind of notice, and I end up going to her sister like later in the night, and I go, hey, I think your sister's mad at me. Like, is there something like I did or is going on? And she goes, best advice I've ever gotten. I think you should ask her that.
That's right.
So I went up to her and I say, hey, can we talk? And, you know, there's something wrong. I might have did something wrong that I don't know, and I apologize. Like, can we talk about it? And she goes, no, everything's fine. And I go, nope, we're going to sit down and talk about this. Even if it's just you sitting down and listening to me talk, let's talk about this.
Right.
So we ended up talking until about 4 o'clock in the morning, January 1st, 2025.
Shut up.
That is our anniversary.
Aww.
And I actually found out later that she went away with different intentions than I had. I thought we were giving it a shot.
Right.
I thought we were going to start dating and give it a shot.
Right.
She was like, I have no idea if this guy's ever going to text me again.
Are you serious?
After our conversation. But after January 1st, 2025, there has never been a day that has gone by without us speaking at least one time.
How crazy. But that's God's timing, right?
It really is.
That's God's timing.
We both have talked about how truly we would have not been a good fit for each other anytime before when we were put together.
You see that?
So
I love.
Yeah, very thankful for her and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, just come by the wedding when you.
I'm there.
Yeah, love it. We need a life of the party. You know?
I'm there. No, yes. I love that because that truly says something. Like it's only his time that matters.
Well, getting into a little bit of like more family history, if you can believe this, I've had quite a 2025. So we had our conversation on January 1st, 2025, and my dad and mom had actually gone home the night before, like literally, I think 12:01, they stayed for the ball drop and then they left.
Okay.
Because my dad was dealing with a lot of like shoulder pain.
Okay.
And he was just like, you know, I'm not feeling it. I'm going to go home, go get some rest and everything.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, okay. Like all is well and everything. And he came to me later that week. The chiropractor had tried to adjust him and was like, hey, we're like not making any progress here, like at all with your pain.
Okay.
I'm not going to give you any more treatment until you go get x-rayed.
Right.
Literally, by God's grace, this chiropractor was a family friend of ours. So my dad, who's an old school guy, like actually listened, you know, because you know how old school men can be.
Absolutely.
They just
hard-headed.
They're hard-headed.
Yes,
they don't want to.
Prideful.
Exactly.
Yep.
So because it was a family friend, he was like, okay, I'll go get x-rayed. He goes and gets x-rayed, and they find a dark spot on his lung. Unfortunately for where it was, and it turned out to be lung cancer.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Turned out to be lung cancer, stage 4, unfortunately. But through
this all happened in the top of the year last year?
My dad was diagnosed 2 days before me and my girlfriend's first official dinner date.
Are you serious? Wow.
Yep. So
I'm sorry.
It is okay. So I'll get to the end of the story, but we'll get back to the middle of it.
Right.
Yeah, and I'll answer any questions. But at this point in the year, unfortunately, my dad was also diagnosed with prostate cancer.
When? Where? How? Wait. What are you talking about?
Yeah, about 2 months ago. But that is okay because his oncologist has said old age will get him long before prostate cancer will.
No, that's true.
So we're laughing at that.
Right.
But by the grace of God, about the tumor on his lung, the original spot of the cancer, is down over 70%.
Okay, that's awesome.
All the spots throughout his body.
All the spots throughout his body.
Yep. Like, yeah. 90% of them are either shrunken or gone. So we're moving forward by the grace of God.
I was just about to say that's how God works.
Yes.
That's how he works.
Truly.
He seriously turns things around. You know, if you believe that he can.
Yeah. But it's something that, you know, at the beginning of this year, one of my like main mottos was there's a song called Good Plans / New Doxology by Red Rocks Worship. And that was one of my like biggest things where it was like, how could I say that God has good plans when the second my plans become a little bit not great?
Yep.
That I turn my back, you know? So I was like, whatever the plans are, they're good.
Yeah.
And then my dad was always saying, he was like, I can't wait for this to be testimony.
You understand? I was about to say the same thing, like, because this is like one of the greatest testimonies ever.
Yes. Well, he also has an incredible testimony himself too. And I never do his story justice.
Right.
But my parents met later in life, and my dad was running Raceway Park in Englishtown, New Jersey.
Okay.
Was big into drugs and alcohol and everything. And my mom was raised a Catholic. They got married. My mom, I still to this day don't really know if like she was a full believer yet, but I know my dad was not. But they got married and they moved into a house together, and our next door neighbor was going to the church we actually attend now.
Okay.
And they have these things called life groups and groups. And it was always, you know, on Sundays. And my dad worked at Raceway Park on Sundays.
Right.
So he was like, I'm good. I have an excuse, you know?
Right.
Then they moved it to Mondays, which were his day off.
Well, there's God again.
So he was like, gotcha. But my mom was attending this, and she was, you know, like, if we're going to have a child together, we're trying for a child. If we're going to have a child together, like, you need to seriously, you know, reconsider your faith, your habits, all these things.
Right.
So my dad, you know, visited the church and everything like that, and slowly but surely got more involved. And one of these, sorry, I'm kind of like staring, trying to remember.
Okay. It's
apologize.
Okay. It's okay. No, it's okay.
But he got involved with the church, helped building our church building.
Right.
Eventually, they get set to open up, and Dad, forgive me if I'm butchering this story. You can come on and tell
yes,
this
please.
story.
Come on, Dad. Come.
Yeah. But he was like, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna shower. He was there all night building, like putting the last finishing touches on the church before. Wow. And still was not a believer, but was like, you know, I'm gonna do this because I love my wife, and you know, she's super involved in this.
Right.
And he was there all night. 5 a.m, starts going home, and he's like, I'm going to go home, shower, get changed, and go back to church in the morning.
Okay.
He's driving down the Garden State Parkway, and he's looking at the sunrise and goes and realizes that this is the first sunrise in 30 years that he had not seen that was not drug or alcohol induced.
That's crazy.
And since that day, he's been sober. I've only ever known my father as a sober man. He's never had a lick of alcohol or drugs in my life.
That is amazing.
So, yeah, my mom and dad are my best friends.
That's
for sure.
So cool.
But all that, you know, being said, we got 2 testimonies. Charlie Chase got 2 testimonies of God's grace and everything. Yeah. So what's one other thing on top of it?
You know what I'm saying? Like that's so amazing, because for him to even realize, like, yo, I ain't been sober, looking at the sun, like, that's amazing. But that led to his belief. That led to his belief, like, anything is possible.
Absolutely. As
long as you believe, that mustard seed of faith, right? And so he probably had it, and he didn't even realize it, because you going to the church to build a church for somebody, for a place that you ain't gonna be. You're like, I ain't gonna be here, so what I'm doing that for?
Yep.
But that is an amazing story. So because you guys are so close, I know that the diagnosis wasn't easy to receive.
No.
But what has made that easy?
Oh, that's a great question. You know, the reason we have survived it is because of our faith, our church family, and me personally, like, and I've said this directly, like, to her face, is my girlfriend.
Wow.
Without her, like, being there, like, there were times, because I was probably in the hospital. I think he was in the hospital for like a week and a half after his first diagnosis. I was there probably, you know, 8 times in 10 days after work, getting up early, going to the gym, going to work 9 to 5, driving straight to the hospital, and then being there again. And obviously, like, nothing compares to what him and my mom were going through. I can't even possibly imagine. But, like, when I was showing up at the hospital, that was the time where I was strong for my mom and dad, you know? Like, we're watching Jeopardy, we're eating food, we're laughing, we're having a great time, we're forgetting and doing our best in this moment.
Right.
But then I would leave and would feel, it wasn't empty, but it was kind of just like what's next, you know, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And
uncertainty, loneliness,
uncertainty for sure. So there were many, many times I was calling my girlfriend, just being like, I don't know what's next. And she would pull me out of the darkest places.
Wow.
It's crazy to think about, but especially now, I remember so distinctly, and it's a stupid like reason, but this is the kind of thing where stupid things happen,
right?
You know, unexpected things happen. But I was at work. I was still working at the church one time, or at the time, and I got a notification on my phone that Aaron Glenn was hired as the new head coach of the Jets.
Okay,
sounds stupid, I know, but then I remember thinking, I was like, what if my dad's not here to experience when this, you know, comes to fruition in the fall? And I lost it, you know, and my girlfriend was able to straighten it out and, you know, just be like, hey, even if he doesn't make it, you can't sacrifice this time now. Right. You can be sad, 100%.
Absolutely.
But dive in, be intentional.
Yep.
Love fuller, love harder.
Yeah.
You know, do all these things that instead of letting it be a regret in the future, make the most of it now.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the truth. Wow. For a nobody, you sure have something to say.
Thank you. That's very kind.
No, but seriously, like, cancer is not easy. I've witnessed plenty of relatives go through cancer, probably too many.
Yeah, it's for everybody. One is too many.
It's too many. It's a treacherous disease. It can go back to hell. And prayerfully one day they'll really figure this thing out, because so many people suffer. Like, you watch your loved ones suffer, and almost, you know, from getting treatment, it seems like they're sicker from the treatment. You know, that's why a lot of people opt not to get treatment, because they're like, I don't want to be that sick. Yeah. But you don't know what will happen if you just stick to the treatment. You know what I'm saying? Your dad's testimony, for the fact that 90% of the spots have shrunk, is amazing.
It's a miracle.
The fact
it's a true miracle.
The fact that 70% that one on his lung is down 70%. That's a miracle in itself. So I'm praying for you and your family.
Thank you.
Because it's been the three of you guys for forever. Yeah. And you guys have a strong foundation. Like, you guys have your church family, and that's and when you have a strong church family, that's because you all believe the same. And so it's an amazing thing.
Anything is possible.
Yep, anything is possible.
Absolutely.
And that is, yo, you are awesome. You know that?
Thank you.
You're
That's
super
very
dope.
kind.
I'm so glad we sat and got to talk and chill. This has been amazing. Shout out to Dad, because you are a trooper. Shout out to Dad.
He's the strong, like, unbelievably strong. Like, making jokes, literally like laughing in the face of the scariest thing.
Right.
And my mom too.
No,
Like,
I was about to show.
my mom did not flinch at all.
Yo.
Not at all. And we didn't even get into her. Maybe I'll come back for part 2.
Absolutely.
I'm just playing. But like, my mom was a pediatric nurse for 40 years. Yeah, she worked at JFK Hospital.
Shut up.
Yep. So we actually shout out. Well, it's now Hackensack Meridian, but we actually got a pretty decent room when my dad was diagnosed because of my mom's connections.
Exactly. See that? Now he was comfortable while going through everything.
Yep.
But shout out to mom, because listen, she still has to be your mom, but she's the wife first. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
That's her best friend. Like, she got to hold him down completely. And I'm quite sure she went home like, what the heck is going on?
Mm-hmm.
But she still every day triumphed through. She freaking what you call those things? The big roller thing. Anyway, steamroll through.
Steamroller.
Yes, steamroll through and
Yep.
just like head up, chin up.
No, she was incredible. I remember like coming to terms with myself where I was just like, oh yeah, I may like have to check out of everything completely and just be there for her and be there for my dad,
Mm-hmm.
just like even like sleeping at their house,
Right.
And my mom was just like, no, just like, I got this. Go live
You
your life.
gotta live your life.
And
That's
all that
true.
stuff.
That's a true mom. Like, for
100%.
real. You gotta live your life.
She's the best. She really is.
Man.
Yep.
That's dope. Well, like I said, I'll be praying for you guys.
Thank you.
You
Very
know what I
kind.
mean? And he's gonna be all right. He's gonna be all right.
Absolutely. They can't keep him down. They can't.
And you have a great girlfriend, because it takes a lot. You guys have known each other, but she ain't got to stick through it.
No, she was patient with me beyond compare that I could ever imagine.
Yeah.
Truly.
So you did get what you deserve.
Thank you.
Eric.
Thank you. This is very kind.
You're
Very,
so
very-
magnificent.
Thank you. Stop, please.
Heartthrobs. This is Eric. Listen, this has been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful experience, a great conversation. You inspire me, you guys. Your family is like very, like, I got y'all right here now.
Thank you. Thank you. You're the best.
Thank you. And until next time, Heartthrobs, peace out. I love you.